Hello survivors, hello family and friends. This is Roy from Bootsy Sweetheart's Guide to Life and Other Disappointing Experiences, here to celebrate the common potato. The potato, one of the most important food products for human consumption. Stay tuned and see how I've increased the spuds. When I was a kid, potatoes were a staple at our home. Certainly 5 nights a week, I would say. Great nutrition, also great carbohydrates. But we were known as a meat and potato family. But as you see with our friends in front of me, the potato has gone from being just a plain old veggie to a toy. But when we were kids, we actually made potato people from an actual potato. It was very, very easy, and my mother would use the potato after we were done with it, and this is how we played with our food. But it is easy to grow these wonderful veggies. And let me just get this in there so I can show you a little bit about how we played with our potatoes. And, you know, when your mom said, don't play with your food, well, this was one of the exceptions, so I can't get Mr. Potato Head's mouth in. Well, I'm not going to fuss with this. But oh gosh, which do you like better? So I'm going to wash this potato and we're going to use it. But this was our toy. This was Mr. Potato Head when I was a kid with real potatoes. So stay tuned and I'll show you how we took this potato and grew them in our garden from old potatoes. Enjoy. Thank you. Well, this is really a lot of fun. I know a lot of you probably have had this happen where potatoes have been hidden away and all of a sudden they begin to sprout. We called these eyes when I was a kid, and probably they still are. In this container was also a sprouted ginger plant, which I'm going to experiment with. But many of you who live in metropolitan areas probably know the kids have no idea where vegetables come from. And I think that's one of the motivations for having a backyard garden in urban areas, especially, even suburban areas. I remember the first time the kids saw a potato come out of the ground. They were enthralled with it. And all you have to do is take one of the potatoes that has sprouted. Now you'll see this one has one eye, 2 eyes. Well, I could probably just put this potato in the ground the way it is, but I'll cut it in half. And this will give us a whole bunch more potatoes. I'll plant these now, and then in a couple of weeks I'll add to this video a progress, and you will see spuds. We will have lots of spuds. So what I'm doing here, now here's a good example. This is minimum of 2 plants, but I'll cut it in half and plant it. I'll show you how I'm putting them in the ground. Here again, 2 perfect, great eyes. The eyes have it. And every one of these will produce a plant, at least one. There may be some hidden. But something like this I may just put in the ground the way it is. I like to see what's happening with that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the ginger. I'm just going to bury it in the ground and see what happens. I don't think we'll see it to fruition. It's late in this, well, it's halfway through the summer, so I don't think it's going to have a lot of chance to grow. But we'll see. So, wow, this is going to be a nice harvest when this is all said and done. You know, it's not a thing for expense. It's more of a thing for the oddity of it, having it come out of the ground. There's something very, very special about going in the backyard, picking your potatoes out of the ground. And it's especially important in my eyes. In my eyes, got it? It's especially important for the kids to know where our produce comes from. When a child does not know that a potato comes out of the ground, there's really something missing in the way we're educating our kids. This one has two eyes. They're very close together. All I'm going to do with this one is cut it in half and see what happens. These others have eyes, and they may come into being on their own. We'll see. And again, I'm going to put these in. Now here, this one I'm going to split in half because I don't want them to be too close together. This is a jumbo one. I don't know. Let me just put it in the way it is. So this is going to go into the soil, and hopefully in a couple of weeks we will have potatoes. Fresh potatoes, not shriveled up potatoes with eyes. So stay with us and see how this progresses. So this is where the squash were, the zucchinis, and I'm simply going to place the potatoes into the soil, cover them with soil, and let them grow. I'll also put the ginger root in, and we will have potatoes. I'll finish planting the rest of these, and hopefully in several weeks we'll have potatoes. Here we're about 3 weeks or so into, 4 weeks into the growing of the potatoes. They're beautiful foliage. They get a little gangly and not as pretty, and they take up a lot of room, but this is 3 weeks or so. Well, it's late September, early October, and this is what happened to our potatoes that we stuck in the ground. The ginger did not grow. I think we just had too much water and rain. So these were the potatoes that we cut up, stuck in the ground, and look at this. Already I see one potato. Here's another one, which has come to the top of the soil. I could have mounded them, but you can see that we didn't even take care of them with bugs. We just let them grow. Let's see what we've got here. I'll loosen the soil. You've got to be careful not to damage the potato. Let's see what happens. You know, as a retired educator, I'm so concerned that the children don't know, look, another one, where our food comes from. And this is a wonderful activity. All you have to do is stick these in. There would have been more had it been earlier in the season. Stick these in a pot of any kind, in the garden, in the house, in the classroom, and soon you'll have potatoes. This was not the optimum growing conditions, but I don't think we did so badly considering we didn't have anything but old potatoes to stick in the ground. I usually get a little more. The soil is a little not as loose, it's too tight here. So, but anyway, we're getting some potatoes. I'm happy because the idea was to show the kids where our food comes from. Where's the other one? Oh, here's, let's see. Hi, worm. Hi, worm. Let's see if we have any here. There's not a meal. Oh, see? Can you see it coming up? Here he is. I'm more concerned with the fact that the children know where our food's coming from. Not so much as that we're going to have a harvest full of potatoes. They do take up some space in the garden. And I've found that I have more luck with sandier soil. You know, Long Island used to be the potato capital of the country practically. People clamored for Long Island potatoes. So anyway, here we are with our little potato harvest. I always get so excited. I mean, it's really God's handiwork, the Creator's handiwork. How this happens, I don't know where your head is on that, but whoop, here's another one. But certainly this is my idea of a creator. Oh, I don't think there's any more there. If it was looser, had I not just stuck them in the ground, we would have had bigger, although these are small russets by species, but we would have had bigger potatoes. So there's something for you to try. This one we'll have to discard. You'll see there's a grub in him. You see the little grub? I'll leave that for the birds. The robins love them. So this potato, you know, when I was a kid, if we had a blemish on the end, my mother just cut it off. We weren't so particular about what everything looked like. So it's a different time. Everything has to look perfect, but it's all the same. Well, thank you for this little adventure, and I hope you give this a try. And plant some potatoes. So in the words of my TV mentor, sewing mentor, Nancy Seaman, bye for now.